Excellent. So today is Monday, February 16th, 3:45 here in Northern California, but we have people watching in the future. I try to post these on my YouTube channel. So I always just try to give the same reminder to everybody every time. The only way to do Qigong wrong is to hurt yourself. So this is intended to be a restorative feel-good practice. I want you to feel better when you leave than when you start. And so that's why I always like doing the little tune in, and then we move, we meditate, and then we check in and see how did that affect our system. I had somebody ask me of like, oh, I have a frozen shoulder, I can't raise my arm, and then it's like, well, you can still do qigong, just raise your shoulders like this, or just raise this side, or do a smaller movement, or just visualize. So yeah, I think that's it. So let's just start as we often start and just move your body in any way that you want, doing little stretches and twists. You can stand if you like, and yawn if you like. Oh, and just open up. For me, many times that's kind of the first time of the day that I'm like, oh, does that feel good? I try to do 5 minutes of qigong in the morning for sure, and then I love 3:45 on Monday because I know I'll get a good session in. So let's just do a really quick check-in. We're not going to take a long time with this, but just seated or standing, just really feel the weight of your skeleton. If you're standing, feel that your feet, your hips, your spine and alignment. If you're seated, really feel the support of the chair beneath you. And just do like 15-second body scan. Where does your mind go? What would like some extra attention today? Shoulder, back, abdomen, hips, knees, feet, hands. Notice if you're hot or cold. Turn your attention to your breath, just taking a breath in. How does that feel? Is it easy and fluid? If there are stuck places, resistance. Hand over the heart if you like, saying hello to yourself, just like you would welcome a dear friend. How are you, my dear friend? What is the emotion that's most present right now? Not this morning, not last night, just right here, right now. Sadness, some flavor of anger, irritation, impatience, feeling just calm and settled. And checking in with your thoughts. Are they going round and round, or is there one particular thought? Or just calm and reflective. Just putting that all together, body, breath, mind, heart, mind, emotions, just into a snapshot. And wiggle your toes, get ready to do a little bit of work. So we're gonna do a little bit of facial massage. I am actually really hot. I'm taking off my scarf. So many meridians end or begin on the face. So you can really open up the whole body just by working with your face. So I'm looking around a lot. Some people have glasses on. If you have glasses on, you're either gonna wanna take them off or just work around them, whatever works. So we're gonna start massaging our ears. The ears are actually a whole microsystem. So you're gonna make your thumb and your index finger into pinchers and starting at your earlobes. Just give yourself just focus on your earlobes and I'm just pinching and moving, pulling down. If anybody has dogs, they usually love this. And then go up the spine of the ear, kind of that outer edge of the ear. So just, there's no way to do this wrong, just have fun. If you have hearing aids, be careful. They don't get dislodged. And then with your index fingers, put your fingers like not in your ears, not like blocking your hearing, but in that big open area in the middle, and just kind of move that around. I'm actually getting some interesting crunches. And relax your jaw. And then just anything that feels good behind your ears, or pull your ears out or pull your ears down. And that's it. Do you feel a little more awake? Oh, we're gonna do a whole, Rona's way ahead of me doing doing the facial. So we're gonna do a whole little facial massage now too. But if you're ever tired or you have pain that's making you cranky, do your ears. It really can divert your brain's attention from whatever it's doing. So now we're gonna do our face. So now you're gonna take your index fingers and make them into little windshield wipers and start on the inner edge of your eyebrow and then wipe out to the temple. Wipe out to the temple and just going over and over the eyebrows. And I'm pushing pretty hard. And then once I have done 3 or 4 hard ones, then I just lighten up, light touch, and then go up to the forehead from the middle out, and try to do your whole forehead. And then go under, same thing, under the eye, and then to the temple. Under the eye to the temple. And the first few are hard to kind of get things moving, and then just light touch. If you've ever had lymphatic massage, it's actually very light touch. And then when you get to your temples, now do your temples, and I'm just kind of massaging along those. You can tap if you like. And then take your hands into fists. We're just going to tap over. Try to cover every inch of your scalp. You can do the same side. Again, there's no rules of how to do this, but just wake up, brain. Big inhale. Full exhale, a few shoulder rolls, stretch those arms. Now we're gonna come down going back to our windshield wipers, meet in the middle of your chin, and then go up to your ear, up to your ear. And again, first few, pushing hard, and then lighter. Few more times. And then make the peace sign, and one, turn to the side. Middle finger's in front of the ear, index finger behind the ear, and then pull down, pull down. So what we've done is we've drained, and then this is draining. This is getting your lymph system flowing. Make sure your jaw's relaxed. Few more times. Few more times. And then on your chest. Over, over, over. And then the last one, hands, and you're just going very light brush, starting at your chin, up your face. You want this is like waking up the chi, the rose blossoms. Just very light touch. and then hands in front of your face, and then just open like a rose blossoming, and just feel how you feel in this moment. Again, very quick, body, mind, spirit, emotions. I could just hang out here for a while, but we have a class. Isn't that nice? Everybody looks so sparkly. It's like, it's really, really nice. So you can do that. I will for sure post this class in the YouTube. So I want to, let me look at the class, at the clock. It's 4 o'clock. I'm not going to take a huge amount of time with this, but I did want to just spend a little bit of time talking about the Chinese New Year. And this is not at all my area of expertise, not even a little bit. And I think it's really, really easy to, especially in this, Facebook, Instagram, it's just easy for somebody who knows nothing to just appear, like the world expert. And a lot of stuff, can be sensationalized. And so I saw something online that was like, so in the Taoist calendar, the New Year is the beginning of spring. And so in our Western calendar, it's March 21st. But in this calendar, it's very different, and it makes sense. This is actually the beginning of spring, and March 21st is kind of the height of spring. And so this is the year. Every year has an animal assigned to it. There's 12 animals, and then we have the 5 elements. And so this is the year of the fire horse. And so you guys, most people have come to class and know the 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. And so in 5 years, there'll be an earth horse, and then 5 more years, there'll be a metal horse. And so there's this whole 60-year cycle of combining each animal. Don't ask me to list the animals, I only know a few, but each animal with an element. So it's very sensational. I've seen a lot of headlines, even in the LA Times, I think, of like, the year of the fire horse, is gonna burn down the stable, and watch out, fire energy. And I think it's kind of a sign of the times that we're living in. It feels very fiery. It's like, but elements are just kind of more neutral. It's like, water can be very destructive if you've ever had your house flooded, but we can't live very long without water. And same with fire. It's like fire keeps us warm and cooks our food, but there's probably somebody in this room or on the call that lost their house to a fire. And, Santa Rosa had those terrible fires. Santa Cruz has had their share of fires. And so the elements, it just kind of depends. And so I watched this wonderful seminar. It's by, I think she is Chinese Canadian, I want to say. Her name is Mimi Kuo Deemer. She's a Qigong teacher, and I just really love her energy. And so she was talking about it from her perspective of growing up with this symbolism. And she was talking about the sensationalism that's happening, and saying, in the classical, so I'm looking at my camera because I took some screenshots. In classical Chinese symbolism, horses, what do you think of when you think of a horse? Right? You think of movement and elegance and grace, and yes, they gallop, but they also, are like, have a certain confidence, or they spend time eating grass. They're not galloping all the time. There's a certain enthusiasm to them. So those are like really positive qualities that we can think about. And then she listed their what's the flip side of a virtue? Their like downside. And this is in Chinese culture that they don't follow through. They can be vain. They can be like overly urgent. When I graduated from acupuncture school, I was blessed to get a mentor that had a very, very busy practice in the San Jose office, and I would go to his office and just follow him around. He had 5 treatment rooms. He would see you, and then he'd see you, and go back and see you, and go down the hall, but he was never rushed. And he just always was very present. And one of the other Chinese practitioners said, he's a good horse, right? Just has that stamina, can do that. And he was born in the year of the horse. So I thought that was just very, very interesting symbolism. And so, certainly, a fire horse could gallop uncontrollably or burn out hot and fast if that, unleashed emotion just is left unchecked. But that's what people are really paying attention to. And it's like, there's this whole other side of it. And so, when you think about what horses do, they might have short bursts of speed, but they also have that stamina of long distance. And then they also just hang out a lot. They love to eat grass, and they're very social animals. They're herd animals, so that's very important. And they require rest. They require, is anybody in here a horseback rider, horse person, maybe? Yeah, you have been. And so, you can't just ride your horse all day, right? They require grooming, they require rest, they know when to stop, they know when to move. And so, yeah, I'm just looking at my screenshots that I took here. And so I love this. Let me read this. This is from an ancient poem. A horse's hooves can tread upon frost and snow. Its hair can withstand the wind and the cold. It eats grass and drinks water, prances about briskly. This is a horse's true nature. If they are allowed to live on the open land, they eat the grass and drink the water. When they're happy, they cross necks and rub up against each other. And so it's interesting when we think about horses' natural rhythms versus a horse that's kept in a stable all day stay and doesn't get enough freedom and exercise or movement. And so, we tend to, here comes another Zoomer. Hi, Mudge, welcome. We tend, it's very pronounced, I think, these days because it sells newspaper or you get clicks online to kind of go to the extremes. It's either this or that. And so, it's like, oh, I couldn't get the fire started, or it's this blazing fire. And, the truth is somewhere in between there. And so what Mimi really just talked about that was very meaningful for me was to really kind of dwell on the positive aspects rather than the destructive aspects. Think about the power of fire, how it can be beneficial. It can like offer radiance. If you've ever like gone to a campfire and like sat around singing songs or something, it's fun. There's like a natural warmth. Or you might have a friend that's like, just very connected at the party and just authentically adding warmth to that. There's a certain vitality there. Fire can also, I mean, I actually know a few people in Santa Cruz that lost their homes in, I think that was 2020 or 2021 when the fire came through Bonnie Doon, and it was like the worst thing that happened to them, and it was also the best thing that happened to them. They said that it just brought this clarity about possessions. It's like, really, everybody's safe. We're fine. We lost our stuff. That's hard. I wouldn't want that, but fire can really bring this clarity and discernment also. And in Chinese medicine, those of you who have been coming to class will remember that in our 5-element practice, each element has an organ, and fire is the element of our heart, and that's where our emotions live. That's where our Shen, our spirit, resides, rooted in our heart. And so it's kind of talking about ways to train the spirit horse, create wide peripheral awareness, and allowing yourself space. There's actually a Zen story about that, of like meditating and like, you know, getting too focused on your thoughts. And it's like, let the horse out to pasture and just run around, and it just burns itself out pretty quick rather than trying to contain it. So I thought that was interesting. And she talked also about the importance of moving and attuning to how movement begins. So this is the cross section of kind of the fire horse and Qigong, and just how we're moving through life, attuning to how movement begins, sensing how it unfolds, and be present to how the movement resolves. And so we talk about that when we do knocking on the door of life, that it's not just moving your arms, it actually starts from your middle, and then that middle creates this spiral that gets your arms moving and being present to when you're at your full extension. And that can bring just kind of the three treasures into alignment. So Mimi's suggestions for this year of the fire horse is follow through. It's time, instead of starting new projects, take long-term projects and bring them to completion. Bringing your energy into public domain with care. I heard something from another spiritual teacher, my teacher Miranda McPherson, said, in times like this, the world needs your radiance more than your opinion, which I just love. Like, I've been practicing that the last few days of like, do I really need to say this, or can I just, yes. Strengthen connections through networks and relationships. Horses are herd animals. Share and express with compassion, spaciousness, and then be sure to graze, prance, and neigh. So that's kind of what I gleaned from it. I'm definitely going to watch it again. I will send that link out if you care to watch it. I've only watched the first part of it where she's talking, but there is a whole movement practice associated with it. And she's a really, really deep, wise teacher. And so I think you'll enjoy it. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. No, I'm kidding. It's helpful to me when I hear something that inspires me to share it, because then it goes a little bit deeper in. So I hope that was helpful. And let's do some movement. We've got about half an hour left. And so I am going to stand up. That's what my body's telling me to do. You check in with yourself and see, do you want to sit? Check in, really take a moment. Don't just automatically do it. It's like, how are my ankles? How's my knees? How's my back? How's my energy? Do I want to sit or stand? So I am getting a clearer message that I want to stand. Spotlight. And let's just do a little more spontaneous movement. If you're seated and somebody stands in front of you, just move your chair so you get a clear line. So let us start out with some intentional exhale and inhale. So we're gonna start with the hands down by the side like this. Go ahead for a moment and bring your feet together and just notice how that is in your body. Mimi talking about that. I'm like a little tippy-toppy, right? It's not bad, but it's not a sustainable position. And so invite you to step out. And now look at my hips where my feet are. And that's, now feel into that. How does that feel? That feels a little more grounded. And now go ahead, if you're standing, if you're sitting, just breathe for a moment. If you're standing, go ahead and lock your knees out, make your legs as straight as they can be, and then relax. And then just have a little bounce in your knees. So hands are gonna start, palms forward, and now we're gonna round our shoulders and bring our hands in and tuck our chin, and then we're gonna do the opposite. Now we're gonna open the palms, open the chest, and look up. So exhale, release, inhale, and fill. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I do. I'm tucking, if I'm standing, I'm tucking my tailbone and pulling in my belly as I exhale and rounding my shoulders and dropping my head. And then inhale and open, and a few more times. Inhale. The last three, let's do the heart healing sound, which is releasing, and then inhale through the nose and big sigh. And inhale, and one more big exhale. And inhale. Wonderful. I'm getting a little background. There we go. All right, so now we're going to do some shoulder rolls. And so we're going to do that same slump forward, and then shoulders come up to the ear, and now elbows back and then down. So it's four corners: forward, up, back, and down. And one more like this: forward, up, back, and down. And now that we have that, like, you can see the extension, now you can make it into a circle. Head comes forward, hips go back. A few more times. I love all this. Sighing is really good for our nervous system. Great. And then just octopus arms, just flowing, whatever feels good, taking up space. And relax. Shake. Great. All right, last week, anybody that was here, we did the trembling horse. So since we just talked about the horse, we'll do that again. I think we did it in the Monday class. We might have done it in the Thursday class. So horses, have you ever seen them when they're standing there and then a fly lands on them and they just shake it off? So we're gonna shake it off. Hi, Bill, come on in. So the movement, as we were talking about, actually starts at your lower belly center here. Hips start, goes up the spine, and then out the arm. So we inhale up, and you have to make that silly noise, otherwise I'm just silly alone up here. I need company. All right, so inhale and then exhale and really shake it off. And we're going to do this just a bunch of times. We don't have to be coordinated. Can be just your own breathing rhythm. Okay, ready? Here we go. Inhale. Shake your arms, shake your core. Send it out your hand. 2 more times. Now see how you feel. Everybody's cracking up. It's a good one, isn't it? It's like the vitality of the fire. So shaking off. We just don't need to accumulate emotions. Can be good to just shake off whatever is bothering you. So we'll do a short warm-up just for our neck and then our mid-spine, the thoracic and the low back. So let's do a few neck stretches. So sitting or standing, hands come to a diagonal, palms facing forward, and reach up like you really want something in the corner. Reach down like you really want something down there. And come to the center. Other side. Stretch and reach. There's something just out of reach. See if you can get it. And shake. All right, now we're going to do that same thing. Watch me before you do it. Hands come up. And now my head, I'm going to turn at the angle and look up at that hand. And now I'm just going to rotate my head down and look. And we'll do that a few times and you'll really feel some good neck stretch, okay? So here we go. Stretch and reach and turn and look at the open hand. And turn and look at that bottom hand and just notice your end range there. And again, top hand and bottom hand. And bring the hands down, a few shoulder rolls. Get that circulation going, open those meridians, and other side, reach, and gaze at the upper hand, and lower. One more time, and down. And bring the hands down, and again, just shake and move. Okay, so we're going to get into the spine. So this is the same movement, whether you're seated or standing. The one difference is if you're seated, your hips are fixed, and then you're just going to lean forward. If you're standing, head comes forward, and then hips actually go back. And then notice where the angle of my spine. So I'm not trying to touch my toes. This is not a hamstring stretch. We're really trying to isolate the vertebra, right, that stack up and get them to move. And then there are these long muscles that go along the side of the spine, and we're massaging those. And you're also massaging your organs. So hands can just float freely, and then head stays up, chin stays up, and lean forward. And then when you get about here, drop the chin, tuck the tailbone, round the shoulders, and stand up. And then head comes up and shoulder comes back. Exhaling forward, inhaling up. A few more times. And let's do that heart sound again. In through the nose. And one more time. And now we're going to do the same movement, but we're going to go, I'm going to turn around because I'm going to go this way. So I'm going about 45 degrees. So turning from the hips and the waist. This is your liver here on the right side. So we're going to make the liver healing sound, which is shh. And that's just, we're crunching the liver and then standing up. So big inhale and then shh. Inhale to center. Liver is associated with anger. One more time. Releasing irritations, impatience. Now we're going to do the same one to this side. This is our stomach and spleen over here. This is associated more with worry, rumination. So letting that go, letting go, and the sound is kind of a groan. Ooh, okay? Here we go. Big inhale. Ooh. Inhale through the nose. 2 more times. Ooh. Time. And let's just do a few, just clearing the decks, pulling down the heavens, dipping into the earth, pulling down the sky. And we'll do that a few times. That's the triple warmer sound. And really feel like you're clearing away clouds. Cleaning your window pane. 2 more times. One more time. And let's just stand or sit quietly for a moment and just notice how you feel, just savoring this feeling, being together. And getting ready to go into some movement. So from there, we've done kind of warming up the face, warming up the body. And so we'll move into our restoration time. And so traditionally for that, you would, when we're kind of like warming up or purging, a lot of times we're breathing out of the mouth. That's more, releasing, letting go. When we're breathing in and out through the nose, that's considered harmonizing and more restorative. So if it's available to you for this last portion of class, you're invited to do that. If it's not available to you, don't worry about it. So you can stand or sit for this portion. I'm noticing my feet are actually starting to go, I think I'm going to sit down. So I'm going to sit down, but if you want to stay standing, go ahead and stay standing. I have a pair of shoes that I like that I walk too far on, got a little too much compression in there. So we're going to start out with exercise for the metal element, which is our lungs. And it's really all about inspiration. And if you're a visual person, when you do this metal flow, you can use like a really kind of bright, pearly, luminescent color, like visualize drawing that deep into your lungs, deep into your spirit. Okay, so this one is Buddha holds up the earth. Palms start face up, and then we come up the midline. When we get here, palms turn over, and we push up, touching the sky. And then exhale through the nose, rotating the palms and spiraling. And so it does, I'm going to stand up for a moment. It does have that kind of articulation of the spine. If I'm standing, slight bend, and then slight, I'm not totally crunching down, but it is beneficial for the spine. So here we go. Slow, luxurious inhale and pause, and gentle exhale through the nose. Again. Pay special attention to your palms. Notice if you get any sensations there as they're moving through space. The metal element is about physical inspiration into our lungs, but also inspiration. What inspires you? Who inspires you? And let's do 3 more and really slow it down. Belly, ribs, chest. Pause, touching the sky, the cosmos, the Milky Way. Exhaling down, bringing that deep into your reservoir. And one more time. And let's take this energy and the lung meridian starts here on the chest. So just pick one side and just open up those points. And then it goes down the arm, kind of sweeping, and then across the palm and out the thumb. So let's just really open up that meridian. I'm noticing my palms are quite warm, which feels lovely. And other side. Someone with a balanced metal element has clarity. You think of a sword cutting away, very into structure, beneficial structure. And then there's that real inspiration. So now our points and meridians are open, and we're just going to do a 20-second mini meditation. Your palms, your lung points, your fire points are pointing towards the top of your lungs, and just hold them there and breathe in that pearly luminescent light into your lungs. And just take this time and think of someone or something that happened that really inspires you, that you just feel it viscerally. I often think of Mount Shasta covered in snow, spiritual teaching, and dropping your hands. From here, we move into water. That is our kidneys. Our adrenals sit on top of our kidneys. They're on the back of our rib cage. And so for this one, that movement that we were doing, articulating our spine, we're going to do that same thing, but we're going to add hand movement to it. And what we're doing is tracing the kidney channel. So the kidney channel starts on the bottom of your foot. If this were my foot, kidney 1 is right there. And the point of it is called bubbling spring. So when you're actually, go ahead, those of you on Zoom can't see my feet, but go ahead and lift your feet up. So plant your toes, and that activates that point. Bubbling spring. And so it's really your connection. It's where we connect with the earth. And then the channel comes up the inside of the shin, up the thighs, and then it follows this line on either side and comes right here. The last point, kidney 27, is right in what's called the sternal notch. So what we do is we lean forward, and our attention is on that bubbling spring point, and then we draw the energy up, and look how relaxed my hands are, and then we turn into a fountain. Since most of us are sitting, our hands are going to be on the outside of our knees, and then we bring them in. If you're standing, your hands are very flowy. So let's do it together slow. So back of the hands come together, in through the nose, out through the nose. So we're drawing up that nourishing, watery energy, deeply hydrating body, mind, and spirit. And then any excess that's not absorbed goes out and around, flows back to the earth. You can, if you want to use a color, think of a favorite body of water. Traditionally, it would be blue or blue-black. Person with a healthy, balanced water element really comes from their essence, very in touch with their inner wisdom and intuition. A go with the flow kind of person doesn't get upset about changes, moves gracefully around. I'll be quiet now and just enjoy this flow. In through the nose, out through the nose. Three more times. And just sitting quietly for a moment, no particular posture, just keeping your attention inward and just noticing how you feel, how the flows are flowing in your body, tuning into your spirit and emotions, noticing the breath. Comparing that to how it was when you came to class. And so we'll end our flow sequence. We are going to end with the wood element, which is the element of spring, which is appropriate. And so the 5-element flow for this is called Tree Sways in the Wind. It's similar to the fountain that we just did, but it's different. It's similar in that it traces the liver meridian. So you have one liver on your right side, but there are meridians are on both sides. So the liver meridian starts at the big toe, and then again comes up the inside of our legs. It's a little wider, so more out here, more on the sides of the body. And then the main meridian stops here at the rib cage, but then there are other auxiliary meridians that come up through the neck, go through the eyes, go through the brain, and then come out the top of the head. So it's really full body. So our palms are going to face each other, and we're going to turn from the hips and the waist, and then mentally make contact with the big toe on your left foot. And now we're drawing that energy up the side of the body. So I'm still oriented towards the side here, and then I come to this ballerina position, my middle finger pointing down at the crown of my head, and then I turn center And now my branches go out far and wide. Y'all were just totally coordinated here. It's very beautiful. Turning from your hips and your waist, inhaling up the side of the body, through the eyes and the brain, turning to the center, out and around. If you want to do a color on your inhale, vibrant green as you're drawing the energy up, feel your roots going down, feel the energy coming out the crown, spreading out around you. Continuing, inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Feeling grounded and expansive, reaching. Let's do one more. And let your arms feel relaxed. Do any movement that would feel beneficial. Make sure your jaw is relaxed. And let's just end the wood sequence. Traditionally, it's called embracing a tree, but then sometimes we do this one. So if you want to do embracing a tree, you can do that. Otherwise, if you want to inhabit a tree, really contact your feet, push your feet into the ground, feel that connection in whatever way works for you. Imagine your roots going down deep and far and wide, and then let your branches come up. They don't have to be symmetrical. Trees are not perfect. They grow around the changes. And just imagine the forest you are standing in. Trees connect with each other and protect each other, share nourishment and resources, and just feel this grounded, rooted, expansive capacity. Silent witnesses, freely offering oxygen that we may live. And bringing your hands down, let's pull down the heavens, dip into the earth, touch the sky, and let's do hand over hand down our midline. We'll continue with this a few times, in through the nose, out through the nose. We've generated energy, and we are smoothing it out and pulling it down into our deep reservoir, our belly center. 2 more times. One more time. Hand over your belly, sealing it in. And just sitting quietly for a moment. I encourage you to just have your eyes open. You don't have to be looking around gathering information, but just, it's a really good practice to have your eyes open, but keep yourself rooted inside. So we'll just sit quietly, just notice what you notice, how you're feeling. I'm feeling warm, very connected to everybody. We had a really good turnout today. So beautiful to be together. If you'd like to end and seal the practice with me, we share the merit for the benefit of all beings. I really believe that this is our work these days, to do our own self-care and radiate that out. So the words I use are, may the merit of our practice benefit all beings and bring peace. May the merit of our practice benefit all beings and bring peace. Hope you carry this feeling with you into your evening. So nice to be together. Thank you. And watch your email. I will send the link for the webinar that I watched, and I will make the announcement about Thursday morning. Otherwise, see you next week. And then there's one day coming up, Monday, March 2nd, where there's going to be no class, and I will send out an announcement about that. Okay, everybody. Bye. Bye, Ruth. Bye, Lee. Bye, Martha. Bye, Mudge and Deborah and Grace and Junellen. What a great turnout. Makes me happy. Bye, all.
There's the ocean.
Oh, are you up in Mendocino?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so touched you came. My heart did a little somersault. Thanks, Mudge.
Bye-bye.
Bye.